A day of receiver trades. Amari Cooper on the move right after Davante Adams on the move. The two beneficiaries are the two teams that played last night. So I don't even have to go check this. I think that we can say for sure, first time in NFL history that you have a good Monday Night Football game between the Jets and the Bills, and then both of those teams pick up a star receiver the next day. Especially the fact that it happened so soon before the trade deadline, which is on November 5th, is crazy. And it also shows, I think, that the receiver market is interconnected. And this goes all the way back to Brandon Ayuk and the 49ers. Remember when they were trying to work out the contract? There were so many rumblings of a potential trade. The 49ers had all options on the table. Well, we heard that Amari Cooper was a possibility to come over from the Browns. I know some people were daydreaming about the prospect of the 49ers receiving a third-round pick in exchange for Brandon Ayuk and then chipping that third-round pick over for a different receiver like Davante Adams. Obviously, that didn't happen. The way this finally settles is Amari Cooper heads to Buffalo. They've obviously been looking for another receiver ever since Stephon Diggs went to Houston, and Davante Adams, the product of Fresno State, East Palo Alto, then Fresno State heads to Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Last time that we saw Rodgers and Davante Adams together, the 49ers and Josh Norman were shutting them down. The divisional playoff snow globe game at Green Bay. So, wow. It all happens clustered together because that receiver market is definitely interconnected. The AFC East got stronger today. You had two quality players added to the division. The AFC East obviously is far away from the NFC West as far as the standings and the conference alignment goes, but the 49ers do face the AFC East. The NFC West and the AFC East are paired up in this year's schedule. San Francisco got to play Green Bay before Davante Adams was traded there, but they have to play Buffalo with Amari Cooper. So that's the game on December 1st at Buffalo that just got a little bit harder in theory for the 49ers. By the way, you're probably wondering where I'm at. Really cool basketball court. This is top of Russian Hill. It's called Alice Marble Park and tennis courts. Basketball court here, tennis courts there. And we have a view of the Golden Gate Bridge here, but it's mainly shrouded in fog today. So it's a beautiful sunny day out here, a little bit inland, but you go out to the bridge itself and you could see it a tiny bit, but that fog is rolling in from the Pacific Ocean. So, questions. Let's talk for a few minutes. I think, I watched Josh Allen yesterday. I was at the Bills bar in North Beach. The Bills fans were saying, yeah, this is the Josh Allen experience. There was that play where he fumbled in the red zone. He's rolling right. It's like, what the hell are you doing? And it looked like it might be an incomplete pass initially. And it's like, oh, no, that actually was a fumble from Josh Allen. He's the top-rated quarterback in the league, top QBR right now. But there still is that occasional play from Josh Allen that counterbalances, at least a small degree, just the awesome physical ability. And I think anytime you can give a guy more trusted quality targets, it's a better chance that he's going to be a consistently high-level performer. And what the Bills need is consistency from Josh Allen, some stability to his level of play, especially when you talk about translating their current success into the postseason. They're 4-2. The New York Jets are 2-4. They're, I wouldn't say desperate. It's still relatively early in the season, but they do need to get a move on really quickly. They do need to find another gear with Aaron Rodgers and company really quickly. I can't think of a better way to do it than to add Aaron Rodgers' favorite all-time receiver from the NFL level and Davante Adams to the mix. So it makes sense from the New York Jets perspective as well. Unfortunately, Robert Saleh won't be there to reap the benefits of what we have seen in New York. Looking the other way to where Aaron Rodgers went to college. Can't quite see Berkeley, but you could see the bridge that takes you there. That's the Bay Bridge. So Golden Gate Bridge on one side, Bay Bridge on the other. This is on top of Russian Hill in San Francisco. This is one of my favorite buildings, by the way. Look at that. I mean, you obviously have views of everything, both directions, Bay Bridge and the Golden Gate Bridge, but it's like skinny. It's only like 2 windows wide. Old school. I think they call that Art Deco, maybe even older than that. Any questions? Who are the 49ers going to trade for? That's what I'm wondering next. November 5th, they pushed the trade deadline back a week, so a little bit more time for the 49ers needs to crystallize. I think the games against the Cardinals and Seattle definitely set the tone for this season. And against Seattle, the 49ers played well enough on both sides of the ball to where you could see the vision at every single position. But you could also, I also said that we'd know and start having at least a slightly firmer idea of what they need trade-wise after these 2 games to start October. And I think that you look at the linebacker position, that one's still a little bit weaker, but you also say, hey, they're going to get Jordan Mason, they're going to get Dre Greenlaw back at that position. So that could be solved. I think defensive line is a spot, especially in the 49ers system, where they need some real Ferraris up front, where you can always use some extra bodies. And in general, the NFL has an oversupply of defensive linemen and an undersupply of offensive linemen. So it's easier to trade for D linemen. So I'd look out on that front. Definitely not looking for a receiver. A lot of people are wondering what the 49ers might do at running back. Jordan Mason in the non-contact jersey with the shoulder sprain. As long as Deebo Samuel's available, I think he's your top backup running back. Gives Isaac Guerrero a really good chance to develop without a whole heck of a lot of pressure. And I think that is something that's valuable for the 49ers. I should do lives from the best basketball courts in San Francisco. This has got to be near the top of the list. I mean, with the Bay Bridge view this way, Russian Hill, tennis courts, and then obviously the Golden Gate Bridge, shrouded in fog this way. That could be a cool series. I know there's a really nice one in Chinatown. I'm sure you guys saw the commercials with Steph Curry in Chinatown when he was shooting on that one hoop. And I went to Google Maps to try to find where that one was, and I finally did locate it. It's on top of some kind of club in Chinatown. So urban basketball courts are a neat thing. I think they're a lot easier to install than urban football fields because they're just so much smaller, but this is a good one. How far does the drop past that fence go if the ball bounces over it? That's a great question from Kenny Hamilton. It's not a straight down cliff, but it's pretty, I mean, it is significant here at the top of the hill. All right, guys, 2 big receiver trades, strengthening the 2 teams that played Monday Night Football. Don't often see that, but cool little twist here in the NFL.